Hello everybody, welcome back to Expo 11. My name is Micah, and we are here in Seattle in the A320. We'll be flying a Delta flight from Seattle to Portland. It'll be a short little hop, won't take too long. We're going to go ahead and get into the plane. I do apologize when it comes to my live streams and stuff. I'm probably going to have to stop doing them just based on the fact that my internet connection is unable to do it. So these kind of flights I'm going to be kind of showcasing today are going to kind of replace those as best I can. It is going to prevent me from having a voice interaction with you live, but being able to do Premiere things still allows me to answer questions through text by answering them through the chat, which you can chat, of course, while this is going on as well. So we're going to start off here, and we're going to get everything going. I need to go ahead and load up all my fuel and everything like that. I do have my charts already set up here in Heavy tab. We do have our block fuel, which is going to be 47, just about 48 tons of fuel. So we'll go ahead and set that here. And that's close enough. So we'll go ahead and set that fuel. Go to remove the fuel truck. And our passengers, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to be shooting for about 100 passengers today. And that's close enough. We'll go ahead and set that and remove those stairs. Our cargo is 5 tons. So right there. Let's do this. Let's bring this back a little bit and bring up cargo 3. A little more balance going on there. Go ahead and remove those baggage loaders. Bring up perf data because we'll need that when we're going through our planning process. Okay, so go ahead and get this aircraft started up here. Going to go overhead, turn our bats on. That's our batteries.
Seattle, Tacoma,
switch to our external power.
Wind 180 at 9 gust.
And kill that radio. All right. 8 TARs. These. Come on. There we go. Our IRS. Basically, they're going to come online here. And we're going to head down to the MCDU. And pop it out so we have a little bit better viewing here. We're going to go into our initial data. We're flying again from Seattle to Portland. Return. Our flight number today is going to be Delta Airlines Flight 5647. Our cost index will be 30. And our cruising altitude, let's see what that is. 0190. So we are pretty low today. That is okay. 190. Go ahead and pull our wind requests. Not too bad. Our IRS, we're going to go ahead and line this up. So, oops. Gonna switch this to match up with our GPS position. Same over here. Match up with our, then we'll align on our reference, and we're aligned. Fantastic. So from that, we're gonna go into our flight plan. We're leaving Seattle. Let's go and bring up my tablet here so I can see. So we're leaving, we have 16 left. Or we're heading, we're not using any of these, so we're not worrying about any of that. So we're going to back out of that, and we're going direct to C. So type that in. Then we are arriving in PDX. We're using the 10 right, so we're going to look for ILS 10 right and the Crater 2, and we are transitioning to the through the Bazoo. Don't even ask. Clear that discontinuity. Step through this, see how this looks. Get rid of that manual. Get rid of that discontinuity. Step through, step through, step through. That looks fine. And we'll go ahead and insert that into our flight plan. Since we finished our flight plan, then we can go back to our init page. Go over, do a weight request. It'll pull our zero fuel weight, center of gravity, all that kind of stuff. And that all looks correct. 4.8 tons of fuel is our block fuel. And this will never come to handy later, 28.1, but we'll get in that in a second. So now that we have our block fuel, we're going to go to our performance. We're going to pull our VR and V2. V1 does not auto-populate. You can either put it the same as VR or like -2. I always put it -2, but it's kind of, as long as you keep it really close to the VR and it's below or equal to the VR, you'll be fine. Flaps 1. Actually, first off, our takeoff shift is going to be 0. We know that. Let me close this out. Swing over here and see this performance data little page is really nice. It gives you all your fuel weight, your zero fuel weight, your gross weight, everything like that. It also gives you your center of gravity, zero fuel weight center of gravity, your center of gravity, and then your trim position, which will be up 0.1. So we're almost perfectly centered here, but we're not quite there. So we'll go flaps 1, 0.1 up. Oops, not 2 P's. Fantastic. Now our flex temperature. Now you notice our TAT, which is, our SAT, which is our static air temperature, is 13 degrees Celsius. That is outside temperature is plus 13 degrees Celsius. To get your flex temperature, a general rule of thumb, it is not the actual equation. A lot of things come into factor when you're getting your actual flex temperature, but general rule of thumb is you add 15 degrees Celsius, and then for every 1,000 feet of elevation, you add 0.168 degrees of Celsius. Now here at Seattle, let me pull it up here so you can see, we are 433 feet of elevation. So to get the proper flex temperature, 13 degrees Celsius plus 15, that makes 28. Now it's not 1,000 feet up, so it's going to be about a 0.75 increase. So just in general, we'll just put 39 degrees Celsius into our flex temperature, and that'll do just fine for now. So now that we have our flex temperature in there and everything like that, all that's set up, we can continue on with our setting. Actually, before I do anything like that, I want to go secondary flight plan. We're going to copy the active. And over here, we're going to go flight plan, and this will go to performance. All right, so now we're going to go back up here and finish some of our tests. Engine 1 fire test complete. APU fire test complete. Engine 2 fire plus complete. Our pressure of our oxygen is over 850 psi. Good there. Do an ECAM status. We are normal. Check our hydraulic pressure. Everything looks normal. No pumps are active right now, so they shouldn't actually be pushing any right now, which is good. Electrical, all this looks fine. Generators 1 and 2 are off right now. Batteries 1 and 2 are discharging. I'll say battery 1 is discharging right now, which is fine. And we're getting external power up through all of our systems here. Our radio control panel, make sure that is on, which is by default. I'm not going to worry about putting in any radio frequencies today. Going to go overhead and make sure our seatbelt signs come on, no smoking on. Our emergency lights are armed. We're going to test our lights. I can't remember which, attenuator lights or something like that. Make sure all of them are functioning properly, especially these right here. Those are essential, and nothing looks like we have any issues. So it looks great. So we can go ahead and turn that back to bright. And let's go ahead and set our squawk. Now, normally ATC would give us this, so I'm just going to make one up. Sounds great. And that's all set and good. Let's go ahead and turn our fuel pumps on. We don't have any fuel in the center, so we're not going to have the center pumps on. And master switch for APU comes on. And we're going to switch to the APU viewing, and we'll wait for us to have our APU generator up, at which point we will be able to go ahead and get some, what do you call it? Actually, it's flaps open, so now we actually start APU. There we go. Alright, APU is now alive and active, so should have that available. Go and disconnect external power. Remove that from our services here. Alright, fantastic. We're going to go ahead and make sure our flight directors are set to on, which they're not showing up. Huh. GPS primary lost. We're still waiting on for the IRS to line. Come on now. IR in alignment. What's the problem? There we go, GPS primary. And flight directors come on. That's what the problem was. Okay, flight directors are on. Anti-ice not needed right now. Probe window heats should be on auto, which it is. Altimeter, let's go ahead and grab that from my handy dandy tablet. Altimeter is 2983. 2983. Put that on both of these. 2983. Gonna close that out again. Alright. And next will be pushback. But before we push back, I want to go ahead and bring this back up. And I want to check my flight plan. So we're going. Descent in the Helens Crater. Hiker. Voodoo Dua Nunut. Deceleration point. And then the Heron. Powell's, and then into the runway. Now, what I want to check here is speed. You have to be very careful with the A320 there. It is fast. It'll slip through air very quickly. So I'm looking here. I'm seeing 192 at the beginning of the approach, in the final approach into it. I don't like that speed. I want it to be slower than that. So we're actually going to choose 160 for the speed right here. Oh, let me put the... And we're going to be descending there. And the reason I want that 160 there, well, actually, we may even take over manual control for the speed before we even get there, but that's not necessarily going to be the case. But if you're not careful, you will definitely come in way too fast, and the autopilot will not bring you down into the runway properly. So it's important to go over those kind of things to make sure it's going to be okay. More than likely, as we get in closer, I may even actually take over manual speed control. Not manual, it'll be autopilot, but it'll just be through speed instead of through the managed mode. Alright, now that we've set that, let's go ahead and set our cruising altitude, which is 19,000 feet. That's what I meant to go with. Our V2 speed is 135. That looks good to me. Let's go ahead and request pushback now.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Let's see here. We're taking off runway 16 left, so yep, that's fine. And let's go ahead and get them on the way.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Tow is driving up, fantastic. And there he is. Of course, he's going to go into the building here. More than likely. Or not. Nope, he's in the building. He's in the building. APU bleed's going to come on. Just going to switch to ignition and start. Wait for him to connect, then we'll switch off the parking brake, and then he'll start pushing us back, and we'll go and get these engines started. Beacon come on, nav and logo come to 1. Oh gosh, look, it's a self-driving vehicle. There's no person in it.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Just let me know when to undo the parking brake. We'll be out of here. Come on now, let's go. Yeah, so these are pretty much going to take the place of my live streams, and that's because I just can't really stream out. My internet just is not good enough, and I can't get any better where I am. So it is what it is, but this will have to suffice. Every now and then, maybe able to do a live stream.
And bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
But more than likely, this will have to do.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
All right, starting pushback, starting engines. Engine 2 coming online. And 2 is increasing. Fuel's introduced. EGT degrees is increasing. Fuel flow is 200 kilograms an hour, 220 kilograms an hour, and 1% is increasing. Looks like we have a good start on engine 2, waiting for stabilization. Waiting for that available. Yep, alright, there we go. Engine 2 started, engine 1 starting. Everything's looking good so far. And looks like we've got a good start on engine 1 as well. Waiting for stabilization here, and we got stabilization. Switching back to normal. AP bleed's coming off. APU's coming off. Nose lights coming to taxi.
Set parking brake.
Setting parking brake.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Flaps going to 1. Spoilers going to armed. Oh, hold on. There we go. Had to adjust my little lever I have. And we're waiting now. And let's go ahead and check our flight controls. We got left, we got right, full elevator up and down, rudder right, rudder left. And it looks like we're good here on our flight controls.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time and have a great flight.
Alright, I appreciate it. You have a good one too, sir. Not a good flight, but a good day. And there they go. And we've got the hand signal. Parking brake's coming off. Starting our taxi. I need to pull up Portland. As well. And we're going to be using the... Gosh, what runway was I landing on again? ILS 10. Is that 10? Yeah, 10 right. Okay. So ILS lock 10 right. And this will be our approach, and we'll get into this in a second as we get closer, of course. So now we'll close this out. If they'll let me. There we go. Go and select our auto brakes to max. Terrain's going to be on ND. Go and do a takeoff configuration test on my Ecam, and it's good. I need to be on that, actually, that taxiway over here to my left. Hopefully this will be a smooth and successful flight here. Recently I've had some difficulties in some of the approaches with the A320. I don't know if there's an update to its software or what have you, but hopefully I don't have any issues this time. We'll find out, of course. And we'll deal with it accordingly. Little helpful hint here with the A320 when you're taxiing. A good point of aim for your center line to keep your aircraft centered on a taxi lane is this little screw right here. And keep that centered on your line, and you're pretty much going to be centered on the outside, as you can see. Just on the taxiway, heading to 16 left. Alright, DCAS is going on to TARA. Landing lights coming on. Oh, come on, don't do that. It's coming takeoff, strobes coming on, and my turn-off's coming on as well. Oop, got a little off there. Start making our turn here onto the runway now.
Approaching 16 left. on runway 16 left.
All right. Stop. Power going up to 40%. And 40%. Release. And I'll throw a manual flex, 39 degrees Celsius. We're going to be pushing down on the yoke to keep it down, the nose down. 80 knots. Going to start releasing that rope pressure. Trying to keep this centered as well. Once we hit V1, we'll slowly start pulling back on the yoke, creating a nice smooth takeoff. Bring it up to 15 degrees. And hold it there. Landing gear's coming up. Thousand feet, autopilot's coming on. Flaps coming up. Pull back the throttle climb and allow the aircraft to fly itself. And come up here, we'll turn off our lights as well as our nose lights. It's taking us in a big circle, which is kind of interesting, but I'll take it, whatever. Ground spoilers, disarm them. Quite an overcast day today. Very much relying on my aircraft systems to allow me to see. And breaking through the cloud layer just like that. Beautiful up here above the clouds. Definitely one of my favorite parts about flying on a clouded day is coming up out of the clouds. I mean, like, wow, look at that. Beautiful sun. Coming up on 10,000 feet, so we'll go ahead and turn off our landing lights here in a second. And now. Our speed limit has been removed, so we can increase our speed to our cruising speed. This won't be too much of a flight here. I forgot to start my chrono. It's supposed to start that on takeoff, but that's okay. We'll be using ILS today. And it should already have pre-programmed the information here in radio navigation, but we'll check anyway to make sure. So this will be the approach we'll be flying. We'll be coming into Scapo, or maybe I think we're actually maybe skipping Scapo, hitting Heron, Powell's, Jad New, all the way in. Our ILS frequency today, 110.5. IPDX 110.5. ILS frequencies verified. We do have the, I believe there is a battleground VOR off, but not really going to be useful there. So objectively, we should be hitting 2,000 feet at Powell's, and then taking a, what is the glide slope? They have 3 degrees, 3-degree glide slope all the way down. We'll see how that works out for us. Our decision altitude is 224 feet barometric pressure. No problem there. Hopefully we'll be able to see that far. Shouldn't have any issues with that. I want to go ahead and do a special shout out to my 2 Flight Club members. If you don't know what Flight Club is, you can check it out. Just hit the join button. It costs $4.99 a month. You get a couple of cool things. Get emojis. Get special icon next to your name as well during the chats and things like that. You also get access to the Flight Club only Discord, where you can talk with me at any point in time, ask me questions, interact with me, and interact with others who enjoy aviation and simulators and stuff like that. My 2 current Flight Club members are Captain Smitty and Music. Both of them joined on Sunday, so not too long ago, and I very much appreciate their support through all of their help they have given me. Even though it may seem like a little amount of money, that money adds up and allows me to buy aircraft like the one I'm flying today, and able to help others who may not know exactly what they're doing, or don't have the time to do the research to figure out exactly how to fly an aircraft, or just want a good video to watch or enjoy my content. So thank you so much to Captain Smitty and Music for supporting me in that way. And of course you can as well by hitting the join button, $4.99 a month, and I get 70% of that, which is pretty awesome. Switch these to standard now. If you don't have that kind of money, that is okay. A couple ways you can support me other than that is by commenting, liking, subscribing, and hitting that bell notification. Make sure you do that if you're subscribed, so you actually get updated when I release your videos. Those ways, especially liking and commenting, help with the YouTube algorithm, as well as how long you watch the video helps, and how many times you watch. So thank you for helping in ways that don't cost any money, just a little bit of your time. So we're on our cruising altitude now. We're going to go ahead and set our altitude now down to 2,000, which will be an intercept altitude, in preparation for a descent, which is coming up in just a few seconds. In the meantime, let's go ahead and switch outside. Get some nice shots of this beautiful aircraft designed by Flight Factor. The Flight Factor A320 214. I enjoy this aircraft. It's not my favorite aircraft. My favorite is still definitely the 737. But does have a special place in my heart as well, this A320. It is probably my favorite Airbus aircraft out there. I'm a big fan of those medium range haulers. Always have been. So we're going to go pop down and we're going to enter our destination information like it's requesting. So we're going to go and pull the Portland information here. Our QNH or barometer is 29.93. Our temperature is 13 degrees Celsius. Dew point of 10 degrees Celsius. Our wind is coming from 210, which is southwest at 7 knots. And remember, our decision altitude is 224. And that looks good to me, so we're going to go pop back out here. And coming up on our descent point, we'll go ahead and do a managed descent. Hit that button about 5 miles out from our descent point to have a little bit gradual descent instead of it just dropping like a rock. Very short flight today, but I wanted to give you guys something. I am switching shifts once again, going to night shift, and that could mean that I'm not able to bring you as many videos as I would like to. So I wanted to at least give you something today in preparation for that possibility. I will be out of town all of next week, so there will not be any videos coming next week. So understand that. If I do have any videos, it'll be from my phone, and it'll be some type of update on like the 737 crashes or something of that nature. Some aviation related news. It will not be X-Plane. VATSIM, by the way, I am going to start getting the VATSIM, but VATSIM is now in beta testing of a new audio codec, which I think is absolutely desperately needed. I was listening in to some radio traffic the other day, just sitting on the ground listening in, seeing how things kind of played out in VATSIM, and I was like, gosh, this audio really is terrible. Like, it's worse than what you actually have in aircraft. And I was like, this is definitely not very good. Like, something needs to happen here. Someone needs to fix this audio. And it looks like they are doing just that. They're releasing a codec, at least it's in beta testing now, that should improve the audio quality. I have, of course, requested that I be allowed to use the beta, but we'll see how that works out for me. So we're about to be 5 nautical miles out. We're going to push. It's supposed to be pull, but I'm going to hit the up arrow button. And that's going to bring me into a managed descent mode. And this little squiggly line is where I'm going to intercept should intercept the actual descent path. As you can see, the green dot is coming back down towards me. And there we go. Switching back to our QNH, we're going up to 29.93. bring us down into the Portland area now. Like I said, very short flight today. Just a hop from Seattle to Portland. Which, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but Portland has always been rated, not always, but in the last several years, at least I've known, Portland has always been rated very, very high on the airport ratings, oftentimes claiming the #1 airport. People's favorite airport. And I understand why. It is actually a really nice airport. It's small, but not too small. It's a nice medium-sized airport, and it's well made, well designed, and you feel at home almost when you walk out. And you're like, yeah, this is nice. You know, it's never too crowded, has a good traffic amount, but it's not like no one's there, but it's not like it's crazy like Atlanta. You're not on your nerves the whole time. Like, oh my gosh, there's so much going on around me. It's not like that. It's very chill. It's almost like the Starbucks of the airports, if that makes any sense. I like airports like that. Another one that was very similar to that was up in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've stopped only once there, but it was very much like that as well, and I enjoyed. I actually had like a 9-hour layover there once, and I really actually enjoyed myself. I slept. I was kind of at ease. It was nice. Not too far from the airport now. You can see this is the airport right there. Final approach. And then our approach into the area. About 40 miles away. I do plan on creating another tutorial of the A320, doing the, startup sequence, it's cold and dark, programming the FMC. It's the MCDU, but yeah, programming the MCDU using autopilot. Flying RNAV approaches, ILS approaches, the difference between the two, because there's a difference on how you operate the aircraft when you're flying those different approaches. Stuff like that. I do plan on doing it. It's just I consider myself in the learning phase when it comes to this aircraft. Of course, I'm still in the learning phase, I think, with all aircraft that I'm flying. Like I've said before, and I stolen this term from M0A and Jason Shepard, who's an instructor, and he always says that a good pilot is always learning. It is the case. You always should be learning. But I do feel like I handled the Zibo 737 better than the A320. So I've been flying a lot of the Airbus recently just to try to become more proficient at it. Little bit of speed brakes here. Make sure we continue descending appropriately. We're now below 10,000 feet, so landing lights are coming on. approaching our hiker. And the cloud level as well. And remember, whenever you're flying the A320, speed, you gotta manage your speed. That is, I think, the #1 thing you gotta work on. At least what I have had to work on with the A320 is managing that speed. Now, if I go down and look at my performance page, my clean speed is 206. So I'll probably switch to 206 here once I get down to Voodoo. Speed-wise, I'll manually take over and go down to 206. Or I could activate the approach early, which I might do that as well. All right. Looks like we're already slowing down automatically, so that's good. May not have to take over manual control. And a little bit of speed brake in here to slow me down. Everything's looking good right now. Still descending. Can't really see anything, so I'm glad I'm flying an ILS approach. And in it's 4120. Landing system's going to come on. At nut, I am going to go flaps 1. Activate that approach phase. And just slowing the aircraft down with a little bit of speed brake as well. I want to be at flaps 2 at Heron. About to break through the cloud level here. Go flaps 2. Go up here, runway turn left lights on. Taxi wing lights on. Everything looks fine here. Let's go ahead and arm ground. We're not going to put any auto brakes in. We'll just bleed off speed. As spray brake actually slow me down some. Go ahead and activate the approach. Autopilot 2 coming on as well. Activate ground. We've got glide slope. Let's go flaps 3. I've got the runway in sight. And let's check something real fast. What is my go around altitude? 5,000. Go and bring it up to bring this up to 5,000.
2,500.
Flaps full. Landing gear coming down. Landing configuration is set. All 3 green on landing gear. Flaps full. Ground spoilers are armed. Going in. We're going in, folks. We're gonna make it. Got a little bit of a crosswind coming, 6 knots, 214, 213. Keep that in mind when I take over manual control.
One
1,000 feet, captain has the aircraft.
Approaching 10 right.
A little below.
$500. 400. 100 above. 300. Minimum.
I'm going in the land.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10. 5.
And we have touchdown. Keep nose up just a little bit. Reversers out. A little bit of manual braking. Reversers in. Flaps coming up. Flight director's coming off. Landing system's coming off. Going overhead. Lane lights coming off, off, off. Keep that taxi. Just going to standby. And there we have it. Nice little landing here into Portland. Looks like my landing rate was negative 337. It's not too bad of a landing rate. Wings coming off. Master switch for AP is coming on. And B2 will be our gate today. All right, set the parking brake. Make sure APU is on. We've got active APU. Engine 2 coming off, engine 1 coming off. Seatbelt sides can come off. And we made it nicely here into Portland. We're going to go and toggle replay mode so we can check out how we landed, how that looked. Of course, there's no sound with the A320 in replay mode. I'm not sure why, but that is just the case. Nice little smooth approach here. Had to crab it just a little bit. If you look, you can see, because I got a little bit of crosswind coming in, but right over the threshold, pitched up for flare, killed the engines, and boom. Basically right on the touchdown marks, right in the center of the runway. I'd call that a successful landing if I've ever seen one. I'll take it any and every day. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to check out my other videos on my channel. If you've never seen me at all, thank you for watching, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, hit that bell notification as well so you get notified when I release new videos. All those things help me in the YouTube algorithm, and if you do want to support me financially, you can do that as well. Hitting that join button, you join the Flight Club, which gives you access to the Flight Club only Discord, where you can contact me and ask me questions, all that kind of stuff, 24/7. Well, maybe not 24/7, but you get the idea. Whenever you like to, you can do that, as well as you get cool emojis and icon by your names and everything like that. So thanks again for watching, and be sure to tune in next time, and I'll see you guys up in the sky.